All right, it is time for Pass the Mic. You also allow me to do my Sandman impersonation because I've been waiting my whole life. I've been waiting my whole life to do that. This is when we bring more voices to our show to offer up different perspectives. This segment will focus on hearing from different artists and creators to help amplify their voices. We'll feature lots of local comedians because one of our goals is to entertain. Former Washington football team quarterback Robert Griffin III was dubbed Black Jesus when he arrived in D.C. Now the former QB is spreading his gospel on what happened during his 3 seasons with the team in a book called Surviving Washington. Now, Griffin says he wants to shed light on allegations of sexual harassment after the team was fined $10 million this summer. I invited my good friend and football aficionado, J.L. Cauvin, to discuss. First question, have you pre-ordered this book, and how soon will you read it?
I have not. I'm still making my way through Surviving R. Kelly, so I just assumed that this was a sequel. I think that's what he's trying to evoke with his title. You know, and I think they're comparable. Being an unhappy quarterback for the Redskins, I'm sure is like being stuck with R. Kelly. So I think it was a smart choice of title, but I have not pre-ordered it yet. I want to hear more about it because I want to hear sort of the behind the scenes of what took so long. Why reveal all the sexual harassment stuff, 8 years after you played for the team?
Yeah. And let's recall, it was this summer and actually this season where he was advocating for a return, at least on social media, he was advocating for a return to the team. So it could have been more recent than that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And I also want to know what his feelings are, because the most explosive thing to come out of this was like John Gruden so far, right? Mm-hmm. So he's got to go one step above that. He's got to have something juicier than John Gruden's emails. Well, I don't know that he does.
So basically what we are being asked to believe is that a full investigation into this team for having a toxic workplace culture, and the most objectionable thing were emails sent by a guy who was friends with the GM at the time, like from outside. That is, you want to tell me of the hundreds of thousands of emails, that is not only the most objectionable thing, but evidently like the only objectionable thing. That is what we are being asked to believe.
And that's what RG3 is going to expose, right? He's going to give us the real truth. Though I don't know, would he have been, I don't know exactly what he'll expose unless it's like an OJ if I did it sort of thing. Like he's like, well, if I had been at those parties when things were happening, this might have been what happened.
It might be. This whole thing, it has all the consistency of Enos Freedom. With human rights on his sneakers, telling everybody else to shut up and dribble. It has all the consistency of that.
If only he was as quick on defense as he was to pivot to that Fox News definition of freedom. Oh, that was quick.
All right, if you want to hear more from JL, very funny comedian, by the way. You guys have seen him on social media where he's gone viral multiple times with his impersonations. You can catch him at the DC Improv next week, starting on the 16th through the 19th. And don't go up there with no Apollo-style booing, neither. We're not having none of that at the Improv.